Welcome to Walk It Out Wednesday. Pastor Pete Flores here. I hope you're having a good week, and I hope this just continues to push you throughout the rest of the week. I wanted to talk a little bit about where you're at right now in the season that you're at. I kind of also want to talk about the is he or isn't he conversation that is out on TV and social media with Kanye West. I look at him and I see someone that's excited, somebody that's talking about Jesus almost more than other believers are. And it almost seems like there is something against what he's doing. I'm not saying that he's a teacher. I'm not saying that he is a leader. What I am saying is he is very, very excited. I remember first finding out about Christian rap when I got saved, and a lot of the artists that I listened to at that day and that time, they talked about Jesus throughout the whole thing. Every other word was about their testimony. It was about what Jesus did, who Jesus was, what Jesus is going to do when he comes back to redeem his kingdom and his people. It was an awesome thing. You couldn't stop them from saying the name of Jesus. And we see somebody that has crossed over from the world, that has come to a point of conversion, and is every other word speaking about Jesus. Not saying that I'm an artist and I'm a Christian separately. He was asked a question and he replied with, I'm a Christian everything. That is an awesome thing. And I kind of look fast forward to these artists that are still singing today in the gospel sphere. And what they're saying is that it sounds like gospel, it could be gospel, but you don't hear the name of Jesus too much anymore. And as I was looking at this and noticing this and seeing both sides of this play out, you have Kanye on one side, and he was this crazy guy last week, maybe last year, maybe just yesterday. He was this crazy individual, and now he is just talking about the name of Jesus. And a lot of times we want to look at that person and say, you're wrong because you're not doing it like me. When instead we should be encouraging those individuals. And I think the reason we fail to encourage individuals is because we're not in love. What do I mean when I say we're not in love? Revelations 2:4 says this. Jesus is speaking to the church of Ephesus. And he tells them he's got a good list of things that they're doing correctly. The way they're doing church is correct. Their perseverance is strong. A lot of things that were coming against that wasn't the word. And they said that you've called out these false teachers because you knew your word. And then he says this in 2:4. Nevertheless, I have this against you. If there was to be anything against you, Jesus is saying, I have this against you. You have left your first love. Later on, Jesus says that he who loves me will take up his cross and follow me. That word, take up your cross, means to forsake everything else. That means take this and walk it out to a point of death, is what he was saying. He also goes on to say that you will hate other things. You will hate your mother, your father, your brother, and your sister if you're going to follow me. If you're going to love me, if you're going to give me all of your love, that means that you're going to lose some other things on the side. And Jesus is saying this, and he's charging the church of Ephesus, and he's saying, nevertheless, you have left your first love. And because we aren't just as excited, we aren't yelling the name of Jesus. You remember when you first got saved, that was you. That was you, and nobody could tell you different, and you were excited about who Jesus was and what he did in your life, and you were going to tell anybody, even if they were a saint, a sinner, your best friend, or a stranger in the line, you would tell them about the name of Jesus, and somewhere down the line, it's not as important. You don't want to intimidate somebody anymore. You want to be politically correct instead of talking to the soul inside of that person. And there are so many reasons and avenues that have gotten us to this point, but nevertheless, you have left your first love. Maybe if you were to re-examine yourself today, what would that look like? What would that look like? Are you as in love with Jesus as you were when you first came to salvation? And if not, where and why did that leave? Why is it not as strong anymore? That is my question for you today. Whether you're a Kanye and the world's is your stage and everybody is looking at you, and you have those saying that he's fake, and you have those hoping that it's real, and you have left and you have right, and you have all of these sides looking at him through a microscope waiting for him to fail. Just know this. He is currently in love, and he wants to tell the world. Much like when I got saved, I was speaking and I was talking a way that I would be ashamed of today, that I would not want my kids to speak like today. But man, when I got saved, when I found out who Jesus was, and still to this day, I want to tell everybody how excited I am about the Lord. A lot of people are like, why are you yelling all the time? Why are you so excited? Why are you like you are? And I'm going to tell you why. Because Pastor Pete, I am still in love with who Jesus is and what he's doing inside of me, what he's doing inside of Defiance, what he's doing inside of his church. Find that love, believer. Search it out. Know that he is God. Pastor Pete Flores, walk it out.